Albert Einstein is remembered as the man who rewrote the universe. But behind the equations and the wild hair was a rebel who refused to play by the rules. Teachers called him lazy, classmates mocked him, and the academic world doubted him. Yet somehow, this outsider rewired how humanity thinks about time and space. His genius wasn't just science, it was how he lived, what he believed, and the lessons he left behind. Lessons most men only realize when it's far too late. Einstein's story didn't begin in brilliance. As a child, he was slow to speak. Some family friends even whispered that he might be simple-minded. Teachers dismissed him as a daydreamer. They mistook curiosity for stupidity. But then came the compass. A small object, spinning under invisible forces, cracked open his imagination. Suddenly, the world wasn't about obedience or memorization. It was about mysteries, hidden laws, unseen patterns. In school, Einstein was branded a troublemaker. He hated the rigid drills of rote memorization. One teacher told him flatly, "You'll never amount to anything." But rather than crushing him, the rejection hardened his defiance. The lesson? Never let someone else's measure of you define your potential. But this was just the beginning of how Einstein refused to fit the mold. Einstein didn't blossom in classrooms. He thrived in solitude. While his peers memorized dates and formulas, he explored ideas on his own terms. Summers spent with textbooks, long walks with thought experiments, hours of violin playing that unlocked his creativity. He built his mind like a craftsman, not a factory worker. When he was denied jobs in academia, he didn't give up. Instead, he worked at a patent office, analyzing inventions. That dead-end job became his secret weapon. Each day, he sharpened his ability to visualize complex systems. While others chased prestige, Einstein quietly forged tools that would one day dismantle Newton's universe. The hidden lesson? Success doesn't always come from the straight path. Sometimes the detour, the overlooked job, the side project, the quiet years, is the forge where greatness is hammered into shape. But knowledge wasn't enough for Einstein. What drove him ran deeper, into philosophy and spirituality itself. Einstein rejected religion as dogma, but he also rejected pure materialism. He once said, "I want to know God's thoughts, the rest are details." To him, God wasn't a man in the sky. It was the unshakable harmony woven into nature's laws. He admired Spinoza's idea of divinity, not miracles, but the quiet order humming through existence. This perspective gave him balance. While others craved titles, he craved truth. While others worshipped certainty, he embraced mystery. That's why he warned against blind faith in authority, whether priests or professors. He believed awe should guide us, not arrogance. The lesson? True intelligence doesn't destroy wonder, it deepens it. The smarter you are, the more miraculous life becomes. But even in the glow of genius, Einstein's story held shadows and controversies that refused to die. Einstein's first wife, Mileva Maric, was no ordinary partner. She studied physics at a time when women were almost banned from the field. In Einstein's letters, he sometimes wrote "our work" when referring to early theories. To some, this suggests she was more than a companion, maybe even a collaborator. Decades later, scholars still argue, did Mileva quietly shape the foundations of relativity? Or were Einstein's words just affectionate phrasing? The truth remains uncertain, but the debate forces us to ask, how many hidden contributors, erased by time, shaped the stories we worship? The controversy isn't just about Einstein, it's about how history measures genius. Is it ever truly the work of one person, or are legends always built on invisible scaffolding? And if Einstein's professional life sparked debates, his personal life revealed struggles just as haunting. Fame didn't protect Einstein from pain. His marriage with Mileva collapsed under pressure, leaving scars on both sides. His son Edward suffered severe mental illness, and Einstein, unable to cope, distanced himself. To the public, he was the cheerful professor, but privately he wrestled with guilt, regret, and isolation. Even in science, he wasn't invincible. After revolutionizing physics with relativity, he spent decades chasing a unified field theory that never worked. Younger physicists mocked him as out of touch. The man who once shattered Newton now seemed outdated. These failures reveal the truth. Greatness doesn't erase human flaws. It magnifies them. And yet, Einstein never surrendered his curiosity. He kept asking, kept exploring, even as the world doubted him. And this is why his words, the quotes we see plastered across the internet, carry a weight far deeper than cliches. When Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge," he wasn't dismissing intelligence. He was confessing the secret of his own life, that curiosity mattered more than credentials. When he said, "Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new," he wasn't preaching. He was revealing the wounds of his own failures. These quotes weren't polished for social media. They were born from rebellion, rejection, heartbreak, and persistence. That's why they endure. Not as clever lines, but as echoes of a man who lived them. The lesson most men learn too late? That mistakes are the raw material of wisdom. That imagination keeps you alive long after logic runs out. That failure is proof of trying, not a sign to quit. So what does that mean for you? Albert Einstein wasn't a saint or a prophet. He was a man, flawed, restless, endlessly curious. His life shows that genius isn't a gift from above. It's forged in defiance, wonder, and persistence. He reminds us that being human means daring to imagine, refusing to quit, and finding meaning even in chaos. So ask yourself, are you chasing success, or are you building value? Are you memorizing, or are you imagining? Are you obeying, or are you questioning? Because in the end, the real tragedy isn't failing. It's never daring to imagine what you could be.